Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is Pixie Dust Healing. And today I'm going to talk about false light, and I guess some of my experiences and what I see on it. And this is day 6 of an experiment for me where I am surrendering to spirit and to my soul to take the action I'm guided to take. And today, soul wants me to talk about false light. And to be honest, this is a topic that is pretty taboo. But it is one that I have found to be very real and has been a very intimate experience in my life and especially in my relationships. And there's a couple different ways I can talk about false light. Today, I'm going to talk about it in a parasitic way. Because if you're into the New Age, some of that stuff, if you're into spirituality, and you run in these circles, what I find is it is rampid. And I mean rampid in these spaces. So we have the 3D world, right? The physical world. And then we have the 4D. Because everything's not just this 3D world. I think we all know that. Anybody watching this video is going to know that. And we have the 4D right after the 3D. And in the 4D, we have the lower astral plane and the higher astral plane. And I'm going to talk about the lower astral plane and how it is a parasitic environment that is filled with entities that feed off of our unhealed wounds and our life force energy. And they attach and feed off of this energy. And they need this energy to stay alive. And so if there are people that are not concerned with healing, concerned with going inward, concerned with their evolution, the entities can use that type of person even more because they're not aware of what's going on. And if you're not aware of what's going on, they can get in really easily and feed off of your energy. And then the way I understand it is it can kind of go one of two ways. And this is going to be an overgeneralization to explain it. So you've got entities that will attach to human beings. And the human being will either subconsciously make an agreement with this entity and always do their best to feed off other people. And now these humans that do this are not creating their own life force energy. They're not creating their own prana. They're not creating their own chi because they are that really unhealed. They are that wounded. And then there are other people where they don't make that unconscious agreement. Well, you know what? They can still. Some people do it more than others, and some people just get fed off of. But I have to be honest, even I have been guilty of this. And that's kind of hard to say, but that is the truth. But I've learned about it, and I really work hard not to allow me to hurt other people in order to feed off of their energy, because that's how it works. These entities, don't know what that was, sorry, run through bloodlines. This is what I became aware of earlier today, and I've already kind of been aware of this, but you have like a mother wound, okay? So it's like the entity is attached to the mother. The mother will probably unconsciously, okay, hurt the child, and that creates a wound in the child, and the entity can hop from generation to generation to generation, feeding off of these wounds until somebody comes in and decides to do the healing work that is necessary for that bloodline. The ancestral healing. I know there is a lot of us out there doing it, but these entities parasitically attach to the bloodlines, and they're part of what make the wounds worse and make this grow even more in our culture, in our society, in our world, because we are so unaware of what is happening. I believe if it was just our trauma and not the entities also feeding off this energy and doing what they can to create more of this energy so that because that's their food, that's how they live, that's how they survive. Sometimes I lose my thought. It'll come back. This is how they live. This is how they survive. And they go through the bloodline, okay? And I believe that makes it worse. The trauma's worse because the entities literally want to create situations where others are harmed so they can feed off that energy. This is huge in emotional abuse, okay? This is huge in narcissistic abuse. Now, I'm not saying codependents don't do it. I run on the codependent side of the wounding. Side note, you get far enough into narcissism and you get codependency, and you get far enough into codependency and you get narcissism. However, this is about false light. So it goes through the bloodlines. The second place I see it the most is actually in the New Age and in spiritual communities and circles. And this is why I want to talk about this, because these are the places where you'd think we'd be more aware, but I think most of us turn to spirituality because of our pain and because we're looking for something to help us. Now, what happens, there's a lot of people, coaches, and things like that. Now, I'm not saying all. There are definitely genuine coaches, definitely genuine guides, genuine people out there doing good work. But we have to learn discernment, because there are coaches out there who, most of them that I know personally that have ran this, run on the narcissistic side of wounding. And so with that, they have this false self that is created. And then that spirituality, that coaching, that healing, that growth all comes as a facade from their false self that they create to show the world. And it isn't true. Now, I don't think, at least the ones that I personally know, I don't think they are aware of what's going on. They're not even aware of how unhealed they actually are. And their intentions are good on a certain level. However, what I have seen is these people have the entities attached to them. They've made the covert contract where they then trigger or hurt other people, which creates that charge and that pain. And somehow I think unconsciously, like I've unconsciously allowed the entities to feed off of me, not knowing that's what I've been doing. Like not having boundaries will make you a huge target for this. Huge. I know, because I'm it. I've been it. This video is getting to be 10 minutes now. I'm going to learn how to talk more clearly about this, and I have a lot more in depth that I would like to go about this, because there are different types. I've spoken to them. I have had conversations with them. I will leave those for another video. If that interests you and you've made it this far, let me know and I'll create it probably sooner rather than later. I hope that made sense. That was my first stab at talking about that energy. But I have a feeling I'm going to be talking a lot about it. As taboo as it is, we want our own life force energy. We want to create our own life force energy. And I know I don't want parasitic entities feeding off of me, nor humans that are not authentic and not genuine and really manipulating people into believing that they're actually helping and doing good when really they're feeding off of your energy because they are not willing and able to create their own. So good luck out there. Discernment is the word. It's one I'm still learning deeper. But it's important we find the right people to help us. The right people to help us. But we all, oh God, I didn't even go into one version. There's a whole nother version of false light that I'll talk about too. That's just the parasitic world and relationships and the New Age community and spirituality. Okay, thanks again. Bye.